EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the banks of the Ohio River and Paycor Stadium in the Queen City of Cincinnati. On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Cincinnati. Oh, a good return up past the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing on the first play from scrimmage, here's Burrow. Throw left side, complete to Chase. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards on the gain, a great start for this offense. And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved, able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. And to me, this play says, our guy is better than your guys. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now it's Burrow. He will find his man Chase complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 39. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Burrow looking to pass. This will be caught once again by Brown. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical that it'd be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Burrow. This will be caught by Brown. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. To the air again, Burrow. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Burrow will throw. Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. A 3-yard touchdown pass. And the Bengals will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. They got to love that. 9-play drive results in 6 points.
That means they're doing the dictating. That means that they've described how the game's going to go. They're playing at their tempo, at their pace. If you're on the other side of the ball, if you're playing defense, defense is not methodical. They've got to go in there and shake things up and create a little havoc.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now out come the Steelers. They'll run with a second-round pick from April's draft. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a second down and 9. Again, it's Johnson. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Third down and 6. Throwing now is Rodgers. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 6.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. That good for 22 and a first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Across the formation, he hits Austin. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll manage to break a tackle and get this forward for a couple. It'll be second down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Now Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 12-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Johnson running right. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Now a 2nd and 10. They go to Johnson again. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance, they're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. Well, now how about this return? And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6. Now Burrow. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. Looking to throw. And that's going to be incomplete.
And that is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
So on 4th down, Ryan Rico on to punt for the Bengals. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. Pulled in at the 24. 43 yards on the punt, return of 4. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing is Rodgers. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. So 8 yards on the completion there. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Here's 3rd and 3. To throw is Rodgers. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Slipping into the backfield for the sack was Oren Burks.
Well, that was an interesting little chess match there because the offense went empty set. No running backs in the backfield, so they're trying to get people out into a route pretty quickly. But guess what? The defense sees that. They go ahead and move themselves into a blitzing situation and come right after the quarterback. They had more guys there than they could block.
And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. That's caught, Andre Yoshivas. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is. to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. 2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Patrick Queen got in there to stick him. He gets the sack. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. There's your co-NFL record holder, T.J. Watt, doing what he does best, terrorizing quarterbacks. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Here's Austin. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5. And they will take over 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
2nd down and 3. Rodgers now to throw. And completes it. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Here's Rodgers. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 31-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
A give up the middle to Johnson. And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. They give to Johnson going right, powering forward. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Ball resting on the 10-yard line. It's 2nd and 1. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. The quick slant caught. And the Steelers are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out.
And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. It'll go as a loss of 8 and a tough result there on 1st and goal.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good job there defensively to stop him for a gain of just 4, and that'll bring up 4th and goal.
This situation in the 4th quarter, you go for it. But here, take the points.
If you go for it here and don't get it, you and I are missing our plane, and we're going to the post-game press conference to hear him justify it. Because the next thing we'll see is the owner walking in announcing a firing. There is no way he goes for it here. Get the field goal. It's the first half of the game. You've got time to make it up.
So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Open man is Yoshivas. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. And they go play action now. Burrow trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. On this one, incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's second down.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet, so they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Joseph Osai collapses the pocket and drops him for a loss of 3. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf, 52 yards. And the Steelers have taken the lead. And they just ran the fly route there, didn't they?
You broke it down perfectly. He ends up catching that one and taking it all the way into the end zone.
Well, thanks. It was pretty simple to break down, though. I mean, that's just a guy going, running on the go route, making a play.
Speed,
Kills.
speed, speed. And what does it do?
It kills.
There you go.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Linebacker Patrick Queen bringing him down.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Burrow looking to pass. Got a man open. It's Chase. The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They go play action with Burrow. This one complete to Yoshivas. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally, because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
Rodgers going to throw. As this complete to Woods. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
And now at this point in the first half, you've got to realize as an offense, you're not going to get it all back in one fell swoop. This is going to be about sustained drives and making sure you finish with points. And that's a good throw there for a first down.
Completes it to Austin. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be second down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Second down and 8. Now it's Rodgers. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Throwing now is Rodgers. Got his man, it's Warren. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
And he missed it. It's no good. And this will stay a one-score game as the lead will hold at 6. The Bengal offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And with great starting field position up near the 50, they might be one completion away from stealing a late field goal here. A very good starting field position from the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Burrow will throw. He'll look underneath and finds Brown. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. Maybe time for one quick completion to get into field goal range. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Burrow. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A big completion there, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Very heady football. That allows them the opportunity to go ahead and line up and kick one right before the half ends.
McPherson's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the 3rd quarter. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, And I think they'll try and help him out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 5 catches for him in that first half, and that's number 6 that we just saw, and also a first down. Here's Rodgers to throw. Now wasted time going right back to DK Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down. But he's turning in a nice performance. Remember, he had the touchdown earlier, and this time he's able to beat double coverage to grab it.
I think that if he weren't worried about a taunting penalty, he'd run by the opposing team's bench and say, guys, 2's not going to be enough. You better get some more guys trying to cover me. He knows how to get open downfield.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
A short one there to Freiermuth. And Freiermuth going to have a Steelers first down as he's inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Now a handoff. Johnson. No gain on the play there. Second down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
A short one there to Freiermuth. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
This is 2nd and 8. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Throwing is Rodgers. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Boswell's kick is good, and that extends their advantage to 6. It's 16-10. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Man open left side is Brown. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Now it's Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Again, it's Burrow. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Got him in. It's Brown. And he'll go down at the 28.
I like the thinking there because right after a sack, it can be a great time to call for a screen to your running back and use the eagerness of the defense against them. Able to gain some positive yards out of this one and make things a little bit easier for them on 3rd down.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Now it's Burrow. Open man is Yoshivas. And they snap him short of the 1st as he can only get to the 20. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they've rallied and made the tackle.
McPherson's kick is good, and the lead is back down to 3 here at 16-13. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now the Steelers getting set and ready for their next possession. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
To throw, it's Rodgers. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Trey Hendrickson able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. And you get the feeling, Charles, yeah, he's got the 2 sacks now, but he may get more here. We've still got a quarter and then some to go.
And the way that he is playing this game, it reminds me of one of the best golfers in the world who can use every club in the bag and make a great shot. That's what he's doing with his pass rush moves right now, showing a little bit of everything. They have no way of stopping him.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he steps out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a 1st down.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? A guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
A good action to this point in the 3rd quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. He's got his man. That's Woods on the out route. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 22-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19. Here's 2nd and 7. Rodgers now to throw. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Now Rodgers. And that is incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. So he's got another field goal, his 4th now in the game. He's making it look easy out there.
He certainly is, and they're always aiming for a swing of the leg that repeats under pressure, right? So nothing's different. He's got that right now because confidence is breeding confidence.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now Burrow. Here's Higgins out of the right side. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal first down.
And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. Burrow looking to pass. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be third and forever. Back to throw. This one complete to Yoshibas. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and that will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. 71 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd down and 3. On play action, it's Rodgers. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Here's Rodgers. That completes it again to Metcalf. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
The busy night continues for Johnson, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
2nd and 7. Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Rodgers going to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Robert Woods, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Steelers get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Bengals set to take over. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
4th quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You've got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Burrow will throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
This pass complete to Higgins. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Burrow. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. A gain of 8 there on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. And Burrow going to throw again. got a man open. It's Chase. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 15-yard line. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. This is Brown going up the middle. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
2nd and 9. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the Bengals are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Brown is not going anywhere. He'll be hit and dropped for no gain at the 2-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
In the backfield by himself is Brown. 2nd and goal. They're going to look to throw. That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And the Bengals have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a 1-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And the Steelers set to take the field. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. 1st down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. They'll try and run down some clock with Johnson. And that to the 30. It'll be 2nd down.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably want this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Here's Johnson again on 2nd down. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
Here's Rodgers to throw. A throw left sideline falls incomplete. And sensing the momentum maybe changing here a little bit, Charles.
Yeah, this defense is going to get off the field quickly, and their offense got them a touchdown last time they had the ball, so they should get another shot.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. This is 1st and 10. Here's Burrow. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. This defense hasn't had the best showing in this game, but a critical knockdown there. If they can hang on, I guess the end will kind of justify the means.
Certainly, and just think of it this way. It may not be the quantity of the plays that they've had because those haven't been great, but they get a few more quality ones like that. That could finish things off for them.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Back to throw. Rodgers. Got his man. It's Woods.
Nice, well-coached, a team that understands what's going on. They still have time to work the middle of the field as they just did there.
The towels are waving. Steeler fans on their feet. It's 3rd down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Rodgers to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Two timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. Now Rodgers. Well, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they're in a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Inside a minute to go. Here's 2nd 10 now. To throw is Rodgers. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 19. Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Johnson running left. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. Probably had 60,000 thinking pass right there, including us in the booth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a big call, big guts on that one. And guess what? That run, it'll pay dividends.
Here we go, 1st and goal. Johnson is into the end zone for a Steeler touchdown. So he had the nice run to get him down there, was stopped just short of the goal line, but they go right back to him, CD, and he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in. And he carries it across the goal line.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and they will take a 7-point lead. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So Burrow and the Bengals down by 7. A little under 40 seconds to go. They need a touchdown to the PAT to tie it as they come up 1st and 10. Burrow. And that is incomplete.
Well, they need a touchdown, and here they're saying, we're not going to get it 10 yards at a time. They felt they needed to take a shot there to at least get them across the 50, but that one falls incomplete.
Just over 30 seconds remain. Here's 2nd and 10 now. To throw, Burrow. That is incomplete. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Throwing, Burrow. And that's complete to Brown. And he is going to be brought down. And now making matters more dire, this is going to be 4th down. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Burrow. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. This offense cannot stop the clock now. No timeouts remaining as they come up here 1st down. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And he is across and in for the score. And now they can tie the game in the final stages with the extra point.
Or they can go for 2 and go for the win. Obviously, the excitement level here is almost a fever pitch. Down 1. It's tempting to go for 2. I say you go ahead and kick the extra point. You got the home crowd carried into overtime.
I'm with you. I do see some fans, though, holding up 2 fingers. Easy now.
Yeah, but they're not the ones who have to actually make that call, are they?
And now the decision is to go for 2. A gutsy call, and this, in effect, is your ball game right here. And he's going to go down. He's sacked before he can get rid of the football, and they remain down by a point. So now with little time remaining, they'll have this and maybe one more play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though. Now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Cincinnati, good night, everybody.